It is Tuesday, and we are coming to you live from digital address GA09925539 in Kokomemle, Accra, on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. Our social media handle for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is JoyNews on TV. I'm Selinam Ampo, and the show is JoyNews Interactive. I'm sure all of you remember the video of the policeman who beat up a woman at the Shiashi branch of Midland Savings and Loans Limited. Lance Corporal Frederick Amano Gozi, aka Scala, has been discharged by the Accra Circuit Court. Gozi was charged with assault for allegedly beating Miss Patience Osafo, a customer of Midland, on its premises on July 19, 2018, when she went there to withdraw her money. Also, he's been set free by the court, and there's other 3 officials of Midland who were standing trial for allegedly aiding Gozi to assault Miss Safo. Let's hop on to Facebook to find out people's reactions to this news. And we have George, who says, if it were to be a teacher, they will say he did not act professional. So therefore, that is the end of him or her in the profession. Hayford says, if the woman has decided not to pursue the case anymore, the state has no choice than to free the guy. It's the law talking and not human beings. And we have Apia, who says, many Ghanaians are in prison for similar cases. So PNDC laws have been amended because it's still able to defend criminal government officials and criminal politicians in our nation. And Nanayao says, ha ha ha, I said it from the beginning that Ghanaians are worrying themselves. Bro, continue your work. Ha ha ha. And Paulo says, when will justice be served in this country? Oh, Ghana. He's asking, when will justice be served? And Douglas Bonnie says, he has to be dismissed from the service because such a person is not fit to be in the service. And Kobe comes in with a comment, the victim wasn't interested in the case anymore. That's the issue at hand. You can't force her to. It's her right. And Asante says, this is a familiar legal case. The woman decided not to pursue the case anymore. Sometimes this happens when the victim receives what we call out-of-court settlement. And Amadou says, he suffered enough for it. No need to skin him alive. And we have Lava, who says, he was not charged for assault. Hey, Ghana, the law is meant for a few section of the people, and the court is made up with self-thinkers who have no love for the country. And Royal Nuhu says, the woman got rich through the incident, so she even forgot about the beatings, not to talk of going to court. Well, I'm sure most of you remember that video, which caused a very big social media uproar. Well, let's move on to something else. For some people, month has presented a long string of traumatic events which have been widely covered in the news. These events can be devastating for those personally involved, yet their impact may also be felt by others not directly involved at all. Many people go through or hear about such traumatic events and be fine after some time without any additional interventions. But for some people who experience such traumatic events, whether personally or just by hearing about them, they can become depressed. Today, we are talking about depression. How do you overcome a traumatic situation? How do you avoid getting depressed? We'll be speaking to Dr. Seth Asafo, a clinical psychologist, to enlighten us on how to overcome depression. Hello, doctor.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Let's jump straight to the questions. Let me ask you, what leads to depression in the first place?
Well, there are several reasons, several factors that can lead to depression. We have those that are biological or genetic because we find that depression runs through some families. And then those that are reactive or depressions that come about because something significant that's happened in someone's life, for example, losing a laptop or losing their job, things like that. So generally, these are some of the causes of depression, like going through something that's really painful or something that you find very difficult to let go of.
People have said that they would prefer to bottle up their feelings and keep it to themselves. How does you feeling depressed affect your social life in any way?
Okay. See, interestingly, whenever you bottle up your feelings, what happens is that the body goes into a state of what we call alarm, because the brain is unable to differentiate between real and then imagined. So, for example, if I do something against you that annoys you so much or makes you hurt, you start to think about what I did, and then the body starts to respond as if there was some significant danger, because that's how the body is able to conceptualize anger or being afraid. It sees it as danger, so it prepares the body to accommodate that particular danger. Okay. So what happens is that you get into a cycle where you don't even realize what is happening, but you're doing so much harm to yourself. Because then the body's alarm system is in constant activation. But that system is supposed to work for a short period of time. Dangers should not be extended. So you get into danger, the body provides you with the resources, and then you get out of the danger. But when you're thinking about it, there is no real danger. But the brain interprets it as a significant danger and responds as if it would respond to some, for example, like being chased by a wild animal or being attacked by somebody.
Okay, but for some people, they can easily overcome their depression, as I read earlier. Generally, how do people overcome depression? What are the ways to overcome it in the first place?
Okay. Now, we are all very different in the way that we respond to different things that happen in our life. We say that some people might be able to overcome more easily because of their general disposition towards life. However, it depends on what is causing the depression or what has caused the depression in the first place.
All right.
See, for some instances, there are people who have a depression which is genetic. So those that run through families, you'll need more significant help with. In some cases, even medication and psychotherapy together. Now, if, for example, I go through some event like I lose my job and life becomes extremely difficult for me, and I start to think about it as the end of the world, I get into a cycle of not seeing the positive in life any longer. So what happens is I will stay within that particular depression. But somebody might be able to see quickly and say, well, it doesn't matter. I can always make amends because I'm alive and I have people to support me and all of that. And so they might be able to process it much easier. But generally, when we're dealing with depression, one very important thing we consider is social support.
All right.
So the amount of social support you have is very important for your recovery in depression. Now, statistics show that in African cultures, depression or the rate or incidence of depression is much lower than European cultures. And that's primarily because we have a collectivist culture, or we operate more on the extended family system. And so you have so many people around you. So if not for anything, being able to have interaction with somebody is good enough, or it's a step to help you get out of the depression as compared to being alone. Now, for example, the sunlight or the sun, is an important thing that helps people get out of a depression.
I see.
And
sunlight.
That's because, how do you mean?
You mean the sunlight?
The sunlight, yes.
Wow, okay.
That's because, you see, apart from providing vitamin D, which helps some of the neurotransmitters to work as effectively as they should, what it does is it helps to maintain our biological clocks, or what we call circadian rhythm. You understand? So whenever you see the sunlight, when you step out in the sun, the body will pick up the sunlight and say, okay, so it is day. And depending on how you have trained your biological clock, it will respond in that same light. So if you, for example, are in the dark constantly, or one of the main things of depression is people would like to stay within their room. They wouldn't want to go out and do anything. Then the biological clock becomes confused because it doesn't know when it's day and when it's night. So your hormones go out of sync and they just fire about, and that could actually maintain the depression.
Okay.
Exercise is another very important resource. Exercise, for one, produces endorphins, which are natural painkillers. Secondly, it also helps to balance the neurotransmitters, the two main neurotransmitters that are implicated in the depression, which are dopamine and serotonin. So exercise is also another very significant and important resource to get out of the depression.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Seth Asafo, who is a clinical psychologist. He gave us some very easy steps to take when you're depressed. Just walk in the sunlight. It makes you feel better. And exercise. Let's hop onto Facebook to find out what people do to overcome their depression. We have Tom Jr. who says, I get myself busy. And Boating says, read your Bible always and pray. Make sure you have a lot of fun with friends and a long conversation with families. That's what made me overcome mine. That's good. And Mabel says, I play games, especially Candy Crush. It takes all the worry away. And Brooks says, I just listen to Makenim gospel songs, pray and sleep. Ebenezer says, play this song, Everything Will Be Alright by Lucky Dube. And Adra says, I listen to hymns. For Adra, she listens to hymns to overcome her depression. And Robert comes in with a comment, I just get my snacks, pick a series or sitcom on my hard drive and watch a whole season or two. I'm sure most of us are guilty of this when we feel blue and down. And Tom Jr. comes in with a comment, I get myself busy. Well, let's take a short breather. We'll be back after this. Welcome back from that short break. The show is still JoyNews Interactive. Now, have you ever wondered how your contact has been stored on another person's phone? Very often, many of us add a descriptive word or two when entering a new contact into our phone, so it can be easy and an effective way to keep track of all those we communicate with or don't want to communicate with very often. Some of us save contacts like this: Bra Kwejo, Taylor, Yao, taxi driver. Well, because that's how we can remember them. But others who disagreed said regardless where they met their contacts, it's fair to save their names in ways which will not cause problems in their relationship. Well, we took to the streets to do this Vox Pop to find out how people save contacts on their phone.
Yes, I have severally, a couple of times, for safety reasons, insecurity sake, and then business-wise. It does. It has a great effect on the relationship. As in, why are you hiding this from me? You are not truthful to me and all that. By so doing, you'll be found wanting. It's best to save it normally as you used to save. Like, assuming you meet Mr. Kwesi, you need to save it as Mr. Kwesi, or Amma, let's save it as Amma. And then when it gets your the person calls back or calls you, incoming call, and then your lady found out this is Amma calling. Just tell it, oh, she's a mate from this side or that side, or a co-worker or partner or something.
You know, your phone is your private thing that you use, but people like to intrude, so you like to save your names the way you understand them. How this is a non-starter, that is the first thing. I don't see why it should cause any problem because it is not inscribing to you, like it's not referring to you. So I don't see why it should start any problem. You have your phone, the way you save your phone, your contacts on your phone, no one questions you. So why do you also question another person how he saves his contacts?
If I save a female friend name in a way, and you're a partner and you happen to bump into my phone, you pick the phone and you see that the name is saved in a certain way, I think that shouldn't give you the cause, quote unquote, to misbehave. The fact that you didn't see me or you didn't read any form of, weird chat between me and the person, and the fact that you've not seen us in a way that suggests that we have something doing, a mere saving of a name shouldn't, cause wahala.
I don't have it on my phone because the kind of job that I'm doing, I think I have to be fair with anybody. So my wife always have to make sure that the contact that comes, she can even pick it and help me with the people that call me always. So I always don't need to hide anything from her.
Yeah. Some of them maybe to be able to remember them faster or related to where I met the people. Maybe I met them, I collect the number because I want to know where they work. So I add their name of it. Maybe if I met you at Waterwork, I say your name James, now add W with it. Or maybe if I met a friend that I know, maybe example, for a person from Aflawu and I met him there at the border, I just collect a name and add Aflawu there. So when I saw that Aflawu, I remember that person, I met that person there. Because I have a lot of contacts on my phone.
Well, you had people on the streets right there. Let's check out Facebook on how people save contacts on their phone. And we have Prosper who says, I don't care how someone saves my contacts. I save contacts with names that I can easily remember. And Lionel says, first name or how or where you met them. Example, Ekia at church, Akosia at VIP bus. Interesting. And Guy New says, it really affects me. For instance, I save my contacts because of how I relate to them. I save names like Chairman, Dangote, because of how they behave. And Philip says, I save the name according to our relationship. If it's good, a good name. But if it's bad, something else. And Kwejo says, I try as much to save all numbers with first names and the surname. And Just Hype says, I sometimes save my contacts according to their name and their location. Example, James at Edum. And Ando says, I saved someone's name on my phone as #wicked. Interesting. And Philip says, depending on how one relates with me, I save their name. Somebody saved his executive secretary's line as War. Wow. And Honorable says, my bae stored my number as Mary, and I was wondering why. Interesting comments right there. But since it's Tuesday, it's time for our Tuesday thoughts. What message is on your mind this Tuesday? And we have a tweet from Naomi who says, if you look at the people within your circle and you don't get inspired, then you don't have a circle, you have a cage. #Tuesday Thoughts. And Retweet King says, don't do it because they say you can't do it. Because they say you can't. Do it because you've gotten the capacity and you can. #Tuesday Thoughts. And Nobleman says, good morning world, beware. Jealous also comes in the form of I'm happy for you. #Tuesday Thoughts. And Cute says, if you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. #Tuesday Thoughts. And we also have Tim saying, take on something that feels uncomfortable. Keep doing it over and over and over again, and you learn how to do it better every single day. No matter what you do in life, the better you get, the more you'll love it. #Tuesday Thoughts. And we have Butterfly who says, let's plan our lives and live within our means. Save more and spend less. #Tuesday Thoughts. And Fee says, our destiny offers not the cup of despair, but the chalice of your opportunity. #Tuesday Thoughts. #Tuesday Motivation. And Ahmad says, give, even if only you have a little. #Tuesday Motivation. #Tuesday Thoughts. Princess also says, never stop learning because life never stops teaching. Hashtag Tuesday Thoughts. And Okoecha says, there will be 2 dates on your tombstone, your birthday and your death day. But what matters is the dash between those dates. Live well. Hashtag Tuesday Thoughts.